Even tell you the truth, it all began with a flicker, a number that, in all honesty, ought not even exist. The price of XRP on Coinbase temporarily reached $100,000 per token for a period of exactly 37 seconds. Not $1, not $10, not even $100, but $100,000. Screenshots, which spread like wildfire on social media, caused traders to panic and experts to freeze in their tracks. This may have been a malfunction, a joke, or something far more serious and significant, because the events that transpired did not appear to be a straightforward system mistake. The information appeared to be more of a leak, a glimpse into the future of the financial situation not intended to unseen. As more and more information is gathered, it is becoming increasingly difficult to dismiss the question. Do you think Coinbase made a mistake and disclosed the actual value of the XRP program? Screenshots started making their way around on Twitter, Reddit, and Telegram within minutes of the anomaly being discovered. There was a sharp increase in the value of the XRP trading pair with the US dollar, which reached a new high of $100,000 before immediately retreating down to its previous level. The books of orders began to flicker, displayed wallet balances with only spectacular profits being displayed. During a brief period, the user's Coinbase account displayed more than $50 million worth of XRP, according to the user. The Coinbase support team became silent. Blockchain analysts instantly spotted something more profound, despite the fact that the company simply provided a vague statement concerning data presentation concerns. A standard API error did not behave in the same way that the issue did. The number 100,000 occurred across numerous trading interfaces that were mirrored into one another at the same time, as if it had been pre-coded into Coinbase's price algorithm. This was not just random noise. A hypothesis that the figure of $100,000 worth of XRP was not at all an accident started to take shape in the midst of the commotion that emerged after it. This amount was a test value, an internal placeholder from the price scheme that Coinbase would use in the future. The public exchange interface was connected to the incorrect system, which was a private environment that was used to model future valuations. In other words, someone had connected the wrong system by accident. These kinds of sandbox settings have been maintained by exchanges for many years in order to test the performance of their systems under extreme market situations. What would happen, however, if that environment did not simply consist of random numbers? What would happen if it included forecasted valuations that were obtained from insider knowledge of forthcoming regulatory decisions, institutional acceptance, and integrations of cross-border settlements? The records were analyzed by digital sleuths, regardless of whether or not there was a conspiracy. Screenshots of what are believed to be code snippets from the Coinbase terminal appeared, displaying that the XRP goal value is equal to 10,000. Those who were skeptical of them thought they were doctored, but cybersecurity professionals pointed out something that was very unsettling. Some of Coinbase's internal systems are frequently replicated on a number of different testing servers. There is a possibility that one of those servers would display future placeholder values if it were to sync with a live data feed by accident. In light of this, it is possible that the alleged glitch is not actually a malfunction. However, it was a completely unintentional discovery of program liquidity milestones that were embedded into the basic design of the exchange. In the meantime, the internet moved into extremely high gear. There was a never-ending stream of speculation from YouTubers, crypto influencers, and financial analysts. Is it possible that this was a signal, a leak from Coinbase's institutional rollout strategy, or possibly a clandestine test that was prompted by the rumored integration of Ripple with Elon Musk's X app? Mainly due to the fact that, only a few days prior to the issue, insiders reported that Ripple developers had been spotted at the offices of X in San Francisco working on a prototype of a payment bridge that would allow for quick payments. One of Musk's declared objectives is to develop X into the Everything app, which would be a platform that would be able to facilitate worldwide commerce, payments, and identity verification. In addition, what digital asset is characterized by both clear regulatory guidelines and quick settlement? The XRP, when these dots are connected, a picture emerges that is not just bizarre but also appealing. Just picture this. One of Ripple's most important liquidity partners, Coinbase, is now making preparations for the future of its systems. Imagine a world in which XRP is no longer trading at a profit of pennies, but has instead become the norm for global settlement. The glitch was not a random occurrence. At future prices, it was a test to determine whether or not the system was prepared to handle extreme liquidity flows. Give it some thought. Under real-world conditions, a system that processes XRP transactions worth $100,000 must be put through its paces. When it comes to enormous values, everything must be scalable, including the data pipeline, security standards, and liquidity depths. A window of 37 seconds into a sandbox that was intended for the economy of the future was viewed by us. Perhaps, just possibly, it was what we saw. After that, the professional evaluation was carried out. Engineers working on blockchain technology started to weigh in, although not as conspiracy theorists, but rather as technologists. One of the former developers at Coinbase, posting anonymously on Reddit, asserted that the business routinely conducts valuation stress tests in which fictitious asset prices are added in order to model future liquidity thresholds. He acknowledged that the values are not chosen at random. They are derived from scenarios that look into the future and include anticipated inflows of capital from institutions. To put it another way, cryptocurrency exchanges such as Coinbase might be making preparations for a future in which XRP, which is currently considered a speculative coin, will act as a worldwide liquidity token valued significantly more than what is currently anticipated. At that point, you are aware that an additional layer of supposition has surfaced. Even if the XRP ledger were to become the bridge for tokenized assets like as gold, real estate, or even national currencies, the market cap of the cryptocurrency would need to absorb trillions of dollars worth of value. Tokens worth $100,000 each are not completely out of the question in that scenario. As a matter of fact, it is technically required by mathematics. It is necessary for the asset to have sufficient notional value in order to manage global liquidity if XRP is to become the foundation of a new digital economy that would facilitate daily settlement for central banks. If this is the case, then perhaps, just possibly, Coinbase's fault was disclosing the valuation that was encoded into those future models. And yet, the drama continued on from that point on. Within a matter of hours, Twitter accounts who claimed to identify themselves as former Coinbase quality assurance testers began tweeting, some really strange remarks. It was written that the technology did not malfunction, rather, it disclosed the future, which included the amounts of $100,000 in the build. Another individual published what seemed to be an internal test plan that was branded as Liquidity Phase 3, target value activation that was put online. This was an actual thing? Nobody was able to verify it. Nevertheless, the timing, which was immediately following the problem, was sufficient to set up a flurry of speculation. Then the relationship with Elon came about. A number of blockchain data trackers noticed some rather peculiar wallet behavior that was associated with Ripple-affiliated accounts. These wallets were responsible for huge transfers of XRP that took place within minutes of the Coinbase outage. Even metadata strings that read XAI testnet and phase sync were referenced in one transaction on the blockchain. It is possible that at that very moment, the artificial intelligence-driven financial platform named XAI, which is owned by Musk, was synchronizing with Ripple's payment network. In the event that the synchronicity is accurate, it would be nothing short of breathtaking. According to the idea, Musk's X app may already be merged with Ripple's technology, and Coinbase, which is one of the most important liquidity providers in the United States, is conducting stress tests to determine the rates of international real-time XRP payments that will soon be implemented